Hi traders, it's time to prepare the new plan for the trading week beginning on Feb 10th. In the previous week, the major announcement was related to NFP and the number of jobs have gone lower in the US market. Now, in the coming week, the focus shifts from jobs to inflation. It's all about CPI announcement in the coming week. So let's prepare the plan and check the charts where we have the opportunities to make some money. So let's begin the chart analysis, and the first instrument is dollar index. I need to go to monthly chart on the higher time frame, and yes. So here we are focusing on the bullish movement. The latest entry of the buyers is here, so I'm going to apply first Fib extension, then the second Fib extension, and this is the latest. So we are going to use Fib extension in the bullish direction on monthly time frame on the three waves. So starting from the lowest, first one applied. Let's go to the next, and the final one is here. Now, taking into account the multiple Fib extension lines, we have strong confluence at this area. So to be taken as strong support now because the price is higher, the current price. And the next major resistance confluence is this area, to be taken as resistance. And we can apply a vertical line here, this one, because I've marked Fib extension up to this low. And I'm going to delete the previous extension to keep the chart clean. Let's move to weekly here, and on the weekly frame I need to start the application of Fib from the vertical line. So I can go and apply one more Fib extension. Let's apply the second one on weekly. Let's change the color here of the weekly Fib extension, and I got another support area here. Two Fib lines coming closer, so it turns into support. That's it, and we need to shift the vertical line to the latest point here. And let's move to daily now. And we need to zoom out. So the daily application is here. So I can start another Fib extension on the daily frame, taken from the vertical line of the higher time frame. So A, B, and C. Let's apply. And I'm going to change the color to blue. So here we get one more extension and another duplication zone, and it's a wide zone ranging between 110.92 to 101.98. So I believe this is the next destination for dollar index. Now when I look into the latest bull run, so here I'm talking, let me zoom out and explain. So I'm talking about the last bullish leg where this high is breached. So this turns into support. So this area, which is 107, is now acting as support. Now when I apply and when I zoom into the latest bullish leg, I spotted bearish divergence here. And this is the bearish divergence, the wider one, and we also have a narrow divergence here on histogram. Now, on the basis of narrow divergence, the sellers have already completed the break of structure. Give me a second. Okay, now it's sorted. Give me a second here. So the sellers have completed the break of structure. So my view is that after the sellers have completed the break of structure, this is the retracement, and now it has started forming a range, but I'm still looking for deeper correction here, because after this latest bullish wave, I'm expecting the retracement as per fib levels here. So until now, dollar index has corrected only 23%. At least 38 or 50 is highly probable. So I'm expecting either range bound consolidation and then continuation upwards, or alternatively I'm expecting here one more push down and then continuation. So let's move down to 4-hourly frame and see what's happening on the lower time frame. Now again, as per lower time frame, we have divergence here, and this is the break of structure, and after the break of structure, this is the pullback, and this should continue lower. So I'm going to apply fib extension in the downward direction here. So highest point taken, and first downward leg applied, and ABC formed here. I need to change it to red, and the duplication is around. The first duplication of the bearish fib extension is here, and the second, the first duplication is here, and the second should be around 161, overlapping with 50%, and the third is coming exactly on 61.8 and 103. So these are the potential targets. So I'm expecting that if correction starts in dollar, the first target is 107, followed by 105.03, and followed by 103.94. Let's move down to 1-hourly frame now. Now here on 1-hourly frame, sellers, they push the price to a massive support area, the highlighted area, and now I can see the buyers are trying to push it higher, which is possible. So I'm going to apply fib retracement on the latest downward leg. I'm going to use the highest point and the current low point, and a push towards 50 or 61 is highly probable, and this is again a key resistance area. So I'm expecting that dollar index should march upwards in the coming day or two, and then the sellers will push it back to the lower levels. If not, then I want the buyers, the dollar bulls, to breach 109.64. So if we see a solid price action and buyers taking the dollar higher than 109.64, then it will continue and it will reach to the next target, which is 110.92, followed by 111.98, and ultimately I'm looking around 114 to 115. Else, before marching higher, I'm expecting some correction and then continuation. So I have a very strong feeling that it's gonna correct first before marching up. Let's see how it behaves. Now the second instrument I'm going to analyze is crude oil. Now I'll come to the weekly frame, and on the weekly time frame I'll mark fib retracement from the lowest to the highest. Now based on fib retracement, crude touched precisely 50% mark on the fib. It turned into support, and I've spotted here lower lows with divergence, and this is the break of structure. At the same time, if I'm applying a falling trend line by connecting the weekly highs and lower highs, I get to see trend line number 1 and trend line number 2 here. Second trend line was breached, but buyers did not sustain and could not take it to the first trend line. Now it's time to move to daily, and here on daily frame I'm going to apply fib extension again in the bullish direction. So I'll take into account the lowest point A, B and C. So let's apply here ABC fib extension in the bullish direction. We'll use green extension lines as it's in the bullish direction. So I'm also going to use fib retracement, checking the retracement from the lowest, or maybe this one, as it's equal low to the highest. So I'm going to use fib retracement now. So after creating a bullish pattern after breaching the second trend line, retracement started, and it retraced almost 80%. Usually we get retracement around 50 to 61, so I was expecting bullish behavior around this area, 73.5, and it would have been a perfect retest of the trend line plus 50% retracement, but somehow the buyers, they did not buy at 50%, and the price moved down to 80% retracement level. Now let's go to 4-hourly chart. Now on 4-hourly chart, I can see that sellers are exhausted and it has gone back to a very important area, and here we have exhaustion because I can see bullish divergence between these two lows. So divergence applied on MACD lines. So if buyers are strong, then they should push the price at least towards this high, because this is the BOS level. Okay, so let's move down and let's see on 1H. I'm gonna use this as the target for buyers now. Let's move to 1H, and on the basis of 1-hourly chart, yes, it has formed multiple bullish divergences. So here is the last one, and it's a strong one because it's formed on MACD histogram and MACD lines, and the sellers have created their last low, and this is your higher low. So using low and higher low, I'm going to apply bullish extension. So the first magnet comes at 71.98. This is a strong area. And the second magnet comes around 73.66. And the next one is around 73.98 to 74. So in the short run, I'm expecting some correction here. First target would be 71.98 or $72 mark, and followed by 73.66 or 74. If this high gets breached, then we will talk about the new highs. Otherwise, I'm expecting continuation in the bearish direction from 74 mark. Moving to the next instrument, it's Euro versus Australian dollar, and I'll take you to the long-term chart first. So I've applied here 3-monthly chart because I want to show you the long-term thing here, and the trend here was bearish. So I'm saying this is the highest point, first push down. So this is our first wave down, this is our second corrective wave, this is the longest third wave, and this is the fourth corrective wave, and now the sellers should take the control. I'm going to use retracement on this longest third wave, and now we are very close to this resistance highlighted. Let's move to 1 month, and if you notice, the current price is stuck at this major resistance level with the loss of momentum, so buyers are exhausted and the sellers should take the control from this level. Now let's move to weekly. Again, on the basis of weekly frame, we are exactly around this resistance, which is a very strong level because it has been taken from 3 monthly chart, and I can see the buyers are out creating double top, and we also have lower high formation and price starts rolling down, and MACD is also showing signs of exhaustion. Now I'm moving to daily chart, and on the daily chart we have high, lower high and lower high. So this gives me the opportunity to apply multiple fib extensions in the downward direction. So I'll apply the first one starting from the high, connect to the low and the lower high. Let's change the color to red here, and I'm going to use second fib extension on the next lower high ABC pattern. So here I see a major confluence of two fib lines coming together, followed by this area. So these are the two potential targets in the downward direction. Now currently daily chart is extremely bearish and the sellers have taken the full control. Momentum is increasing. I'm moving to 4H, and on 4 hourly chart I do not see any signs against, so this is the first push down from the major resistance zone, and we can apply one more fib extension on the 4 hourly chart. Extremely bearish on MACD, and price action is also strongly bearish. So let's apply one more fib extension and change the color here. So now it has crossed a super strong zone with massive price action. A lot of momentum is seen here, and I can see another confluence coming around this area. So definitely I'll be shorting Euro Aussie, and my target is derived through magnets. Now if I short at the current price level without waiting for the retracement, then my risk and reward is not super amazing, because if I protect my stop loss around this area, I'll be taking a risk of 140 pips, and 1.47 or 1.5. But if I target the next one, then it makes sense, because now my risk to reward is 2.97. In fact, I would like to wait for the retracement on the lower time frame, retest, bump into this strong resistance, and then look for opportunity. So in that way I'll be optimizing my risk and reward. Let's see if we have any signs against on the lower time frame. No, even on lower time frame, on 1 hourly chart, the sellers are in full control, increased bearish momentum, no signs against and no divergence. So I don't think so that retracement is coming up. If I take into account equal highs, then this is the first leg down. Okay, then I can use this area as trend line. So retest of the trend line, let it enter into the resistance area. So I'll not sell at the current price. I'll wait for the retracement around this area. Then my risk and reward will be further optimized. Yes, I can see 4.3. So it gives me the choice to increase my stop loss here. So I'll be entering around 1.6490 with the stop loss around 1.6621, and the potential target should be the second magnet zone, that is coming very close to the psychological mark of 1.5999, means 1.6. So it has the potential to give us 450 pips in the coming days. So Euro Aussie explained for the bearish direction. The second setup is pound versus Canadian, and this also looks bearish to me. Again, I'll start from a higher time frame, which gives a lot of clarity on the bigger frame. So I'll go to 3 monthly, and on the basis of 3 monthly time frame, it has reached a crucial resistance zone. It has reached to the resistance area, and I'm going to apply Fib retracement from the lowest to the current high. And let's move down to 1 month. We need to align the chart. Okay, it's fine. So here on monthly time frame, I can see the buyers are exhausted because we have continuing style divergence, and MACD lines are now converging, coming closer to each other. Signs of exhaustion. And now the price pattern is also making lower high. Now let's move to daily. Now on daily chart, the environment has turned bearish, even on MACD histogram and MACD lines. And I'm going to use ABC Fib extension in the bearish direction. Moving down to 4H. Now on the 4 hourly frame, the environment is completely bearish. This was the first run in the bearish direction. This is your correction after massive bearish move, and I see bearish divergence and the breakout structure here. So sellers are in control, full control of this currency pair. Okay, now moving down to 1 hourly chart, I can see that there is a potential of bullish divergence. So I'll be waiting for the pullback, and once I see it going back towards 1.7950, I'll plan for a sell trade. Now let's apply Fib extension if possible on the lower time frame as well to get the magnet zones, because until now I have not used. Okay, so what I'll do here, so I'll be using the magnet here, which is, it looks like, yes, so currently it's at 1.7723. If this trend line gets breached, we can expect at least towards Fib extension 100%, and it should also be breach of this support coming from the left. So my target will be 1.7335. I just need to check on the lower time frame if my risk and reward is suitable or not. So if I sell at the current price without waiting for the pullback, my stop loss has to be somewhere here, which is way too wide, 365 pips, and my target is 100. Sorry, not a good trade on the basis of risk and reward. I need to wait for the pullback on lower time frame. So let's go to 1 hourly chart, and I'll be entering into the trade after it pulls higher, maybe somewhere here. So now I can use the previous high to protect my stop loss. Let's move to 4 hourly chart. Now it looks interesting because my risk and reward has become 1.8. So definitely I'll be looking for pullback. I would like to enter somewhere closer to this Fib line, 1.8 or slightly lower, with the stop loss above previous high, because this is A, B, and C. So basically, I'm protecting this falling trend line. And I'll be aiming for 1.9 to 2 risk and reward. But the direction is bearish. And finally, the last instrument is gold. Now, I'll be using only trend line method to explain gold's setup. So basis of this low and the next higher low, I'm going to use a rising trend line here. So rising trend line should be blue. Now I'll be using the next trend line here. So I'm just creating multiple trend lines here. So starting from the second touch point, a trend line is created. Moving to the next. And let's move to 1H. On 1 hourly chart again. Yes. So this is the trend line which is now breached. So let's change the color. Okay. So the darker colored trend line is now breached, and I have also spotted bearish divergence here between the highs. So bearish divergence, breach of trend line, and this is the break of structure which is not yet done. And after breaching the trend line, it goes back for the retest, and I'm expecting short-term bearish pattern in gold. So let's apply Fib extension in the downward direction. And if it goes to 100%, then 2842 is the level to look for. I can use Fib retracement on this as well. So we have a very strong magnet around 2842 or 2840, followed by 2818. So these are the two potential targets. Now let me explain. This darker colored rising trend line is breached. After breaching the trend line, this is the retest, pullback. It formed double top with bearish divergence here. And now the sellers are in control. So until it remains lower than 2880, the first target is 2842, followed by 2818. But I'm expecting the buyers to take the control from this area, and the long-term trend is still bullish. Let's see what's happening on 15 minutes. Now, even on 15 minutes, it has breached the latest rising trend line. So here we have price breaking below the rising trend line of 15 minutes. Now this is too low to sell. If I get some pullback, I'll take it as an opportunity to go for short-term sell. First target could be 2856 followed by 2842. In case if it bounces back from 2842, then I will not look for the next target. If it breaches the next trend line, then I will look for 2818. Otherwise, I'll get into long position around this trend line. So the crucial level is 2842 and the resistance is at 2880. I'm gonna use Fib retracement from the recent run in the downward direction. So a good entry would be around 2868, 2871. So let's wait for the pullback and get into short-term sell trade with the target of 2842. And I believe from 2842, we have a high probability of buyers coming back. So this is my trading plan for the upcoming week. I hope it adds value to yours. So if you like this video, show your support, give a thumbs up. Take care. Bye-bye.